Well, with the festive season in full swing and many are currently spending this time enjoying their favorite alcohol beverage, it is also very important to watch against alcohol abuse and underage drinking. Now, alcohol as well as substance abuse affects communities across the world, and the risks associated with them are well documented. South Africa was actually identified as one of the countries that has a serious problem with alcohol and substance abuse by the Harm Reduction International in its Global State of Harm Reduction report. Well, to take this discussion further, we're very pleased to be joined now by Mokebe Thulo, who's the CEO of Aware.org, to further unpack this issue of alcohol as well as other substance abuse and underage drinking in South Africa, particularly as we observe the festive period. Mokebe, happy festive season to you. Welcome to the show. Let's first understand Aware.org's main objective in addressing underage drinking.
Good afternoon, Alicia, and good afternoon to your viewers. Thank you so much for having us. And thank you for that question. When it comes to Aware.org, we work broadly under three main pillars. Our key pillar is the No to Underage Drinking pillar, where we have a zero acceptance policy when it comes to that. We run a number of educational and awareness campaigns throughout the year in schools, in communities, across the board. We use mass media to promote responsible behavior. And we do that from a community and all of society point of view so that we can get our under 18s to get the message that please do not consume alcohol under the age of 18. There is no benefit to you.
Absolutely, Mokebe. Now, I went and looked at your website that actually outlines some of your various programs, like the hashtag No to Underage Drinking and even sober pregnancy with a specific focus programs that you actually implement. So talk to us about those projects that you as Aware.org do to combat underage drinking as well as abuse of alcohol.
Alicia, so as you know, the abuse of alcohol is a huge challenge that our country faces, and it's something that we face head on. The reality is that what we have found is that the South African or the ordinary South African has normalized this dangerous or unhealthy relationship with alcohol. And therefore, the behaviors that we see are a mirror of these attitudes that have been taken on by the ordinary South African. We do a lot of research, and our research tells us what some of these drivers of underage drinking or drinking in the different parts, like sober pregnancies, for example, are. And when it comes to our under 18s, we understand that role modeling is so important. The young people need the correct role models to show them how to behave. We understand that young people do not have enough education to tell them what it is that alcohol does to their bodies. We understand that young people have too much unsupervised time on their hands. And therefore, we have to create and craft actual programs that speak to these drivers that are related to underage drinking. And interestingly enough, there are some intersections between underage drinking and festive, which falls under sober pregnancies, which we also speak to. And the reality is that when young people get involved in risky behavior related to alcohol, it intersects with a number of other challenges, and it's almost the cycle that continues. And that is why this is such a key pillar for us to advocate for and to get right.
Absolutely, Mokebe. I mean, we were raised with the phrase, it takes a community to raise a child. Let's now talk about the role that parents, families, relatives, and even those role models that you speak of, in fact, the entire community, do have to play in the fight of preventing alcohol abuse as well as underage drinking. We come from a fragmented society where, as you've rightly pointed out, some children do not even have those to lead them or look up to and teach them about the dangers of this exuberant behavior.
That's very true, and it's very unfortunate too, Alicia. You speak nothing but truth, and we come from a complex history. That is where we are coming from, and so young people come from various types of families. They are the big sort of the community raises the family. There's the small nuclear families. There's the two-parent households or the one-parent households, and we have to keep all of this in mind. And so we have to make space and create spaces and safe spaces in which conversations can be had, in which education can be given. And that's why places such as schools become such an important vehicle for us to be able to deliver some of our messaging. And that's why communities are also geared to helping us get this message across. I mean, it's convoluted, it's complicated, but it's not impossible. But it takes all of us, and we all have to be accountable towards what we teach our young people. My behavior, your behavior, the behavior of everyone in the community mirrors what the young people in the community invariably do. If you look at where a young person generally comes from, and you look at them in 10 years' time, for the good or the bad, the reality is that the two are related.
Mm-hmm. Very interesting, Mokebe. I mean, child-headed households are of particular concern, especially those that emanate from townships as well as far-flung rural areas and villages. So why is the festive season in particular, according to your research, some of the cases that you've worked on and other data that you have compiled, such a critical time for addressing this critical issue of underage drinking?
I think, Alicia, during the festive season, a particular spotlight is put on this issue, but it's not just about the festive season. This messaging has to continue well before the festive season and continue well after the festive season. The thing about the festive season is that people finally slow down from a work point of view. They let their hair down, and the majority of them, I guess, from an entertainment and relaxation point of view, spend their time consuming alcohol. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that if it's done responsibly. And this is where the role modeling comes across. The end game, what we're trying to accomplish here is we're trying to teach young people to be able to make correct decisions in the face of incorrect decisions, in the face of peer pressure, in the face of not having your parents right there looking at you, in the face of not having your teacher that a few weeks ago was telling you, remember, guys, it's that dangerous time of the year. So if we can get these messages well entrenched in the hearts and the minds of the young people that we speak to, showing them that they have a future that they're working towards, showing them that what they do today impacts what their future looks like tomorrow, then the fight is half won. It is important for us to scale up our messaging at this time of the year, but it's certainly not the only time of the year where we're speaking to young people.
And as we wrap up our conversation, Mokebe, let's get Aware.org's message to communities during this particular festive season.
Our message is that we are all responsible for what happens to our young people. We often complain about, the kids of today or the young people of today, or I'm a 2000 or Gen Alpha, Gen Z, but who made them? It's all of us. And so if we set the right tone, if we do the right role modeling, if we allow that education to take place, and by this, it is you can do as I do, not as I say. So if I act responsibly, you can too. And that is the message that we would like to pass. Please drink responsibly. We want you to have an excellent festive season. It's been a long, hard year for many people, for many families, and it is an opportunity for us to, take some of that well-deserved time off if we are lucky enough to have the opportunity, but do so responsibly, and so that you can enable future generations to do the same thing, and so that we can have healthy communities to speak to.
What a message. They do as I do, not just as I say. Thank you so much to Mokebe Thulo, the CEO of Aware.org. For more information, as well as assistance in fighting substance abuse, call the South African Depression and Anxiety Group, or SADC, 24-hour substance abuse helpline on 0800 12 13 14. You can also call the South African National Council of Alcoholism and Drug Dependence, SANCA, on 011-892-3829. Alternatively, send them a WhatsApp message on 076